Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke. Welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the last episode, we read through The Elevator to Nowhere, Viral Cat, The Roaring One, Distorted Man, and Lucent Beams. And this one, we're going to be doing the Pacifier, Hot Springs, Delicious Chocolates, Mr. Hot, and The Mouth of Truth. Now, before I start, someone pointed out to me in the comments that The Roaring One may actually have been Dionysus, I've never really known how to pronounce that. The god of wine from Greek mythology. And that being said, now I'm wondering if when it said there are others like him, they didn't mean more of the Roaring One, it may have meant the other Greek gods. So maybe that'll come up later on. I don't know. Anyway, let's check out the Pacifier. I was about to say, better not be Keter. Okay, so, when not in use by researchers or containment teams, the doll is to be stored under lock and key in an on-site safety deposit box. The box should be lined with felt and filled with packing materials in order to ensure its safety. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that rather than it be like a pacifier that babies use, it's going to be some sort of set of Matryoshka dolls where as you open them you become more and more pacified until eventually you just sort of melt, like those really old commercials of why drugs are bad, where the girl just deflated over the couch and was all anyway. SCP-641 is a seemingly ordinary set of Russian Matryoshka dolls, but each layer is improbably thin. 1,347 layers of the doll were measured and demonstrated a mean thickness of 0.04 micrometers with a standard deviation of 0.02 micrometers, or micrometers if you please. If the disassembled dolls are left untouched for a length of time ranging from 5 to 7 minutes, the dolls will animate and begin to reassemble, the largest doll leaping over the next largest until the doll is assembled at an approximate, extremely rapid rate. The longest time this phenomenon has been observed is 3 minutes and 46 seconds, the doll reassembling itself from 3,228 separate pieces. Subjects disassembling the doll show a marked aversion to leaving the dolls alone, and if compelled to do so will become angry, physically fighting any restraints until the dolls begin to reassemble, at which point attempts to reach the doll cease and the subject typically turns on those responsible for restraints, shouting obscenities until tranquilized. Subjects utilizing the doll show a single-minded interest in disassembly will not be distracted without an interruption or of significant magnitude, threatening the subject's safety or health. Afterwards, the subjects recall disassembling 641 but exhibit nothing more than mild annoyance at most. Document 1. This document is the transcript of Dr. Frederick Heighton's comments upon utilization of the object. Experiment 641-1. I will attempt to disassemble 641 and record at 5-minute intervals. Guards are posted at the doors and I am unarmed in case I become unmanageable. 5 minutes and 3 seconds. I have removed 32 layers. I'm proceeding slowly, specifically despite my urge to move rapidly. Time passes. 9 minutes, 59 seconds, 68 layers removed. The urge is growing stronger. I really want to see what's in the middle of this thing. Time passes. 16 minutes, 23 seconds, 483 layers removed. This is more fun than I gave it credit for at first. Wasn't paying attention to the stopwatch. I'll correct that for the next report at 20 minutes. Time passes. Guard, Dr. Hyden, don't you need to make a Shut up! Wait, shit, 45 minutes, 23 seconds? Oh, man. Terminating experiment. I may be compromised by 641. Sounds of a chair scuffling. Stevens, replace the object in its holding container. I'm going to psych for an evaluation. Sound of a chair scuffing the floor, then footsteps. Note, Dr. Hyden has demonstrated an aversion to contact with 641 after the incident documented, and his psychological profile demonstrated no dangerous tendencies. After a month, he was placed back on duty as head of research for 641. Addendum. The object is under no circumstances to be used for personal amusement or recreation. Any personnel seen improperly utilizing 641 will be reprimanded and a note placed on their personnel file pending transfer to another project. Any experiments with the object are to be performed with disposable dudes whose medical history shows no alcohol or narcotics abuse and whose psychological profile shows no predilection to addiction. If the object needs to be neutralized to prevent capture, current research indicates that a hammer or a tightly closed fist will do. Notes: this object shows potential in pacification of dangerous humanoid SCPs. Research into how the effect is achieved will continue. Any field teams requesting access to 641 may submit a request directly to me. Please include a description of who will be accessing the device and notations of their trustworthiness. If it is broken, you will have me to answer to. Dr. Frederick Hyden. Okay. Next up is the hot springs, which are Euclid, and they certainly do look like actual hot springs, but I'm sure it's something strange. SCP-642-1, source of all reproduction in blank. 2. Blank's counter-agent. Alright, it's Euclid. Both SCP-642-1 and 2 have been fenced off and designated as sites of high radioactivity not currently suitable for remediation. Monitoring by Foundation personnel to prevent civilian access is ongoing. Under no circumstances are human males with functioning testicular tissue to come into contact with 1 or samples taken from 1. Females with functional ovarian tissue should observe strict Foundation pregnancy prevention protocols while monitoring or working with 1, as well as refraining from ingestion of or immersion in the SCP's waters. It is recommended that intact males of any mammalian species not involved with Foundation experimental procedures be kept 3 meters away from 1 at all times, as should Foundation personnel with known thermal sensitivity issues. 2 poses no hazard to male personnel beyond ambient temperatures, but pregnant female personnel who intend to remain pregnant must remain 3 meters away from 2's borders for the duration of their pregnancies. Okay. Description. 1 and 2 are a pair of geothermal hot springs located in the region of northern Iceland, approximately 6 kilometers apart. Characterized by extremely high flow rate, 160 liters per second at 1, 165 liters per second at 2, water emerges at both sites at temperatures varying from 45 to 57 degrees Celsius depending on the time of year. These sites are geographically remote and inconveniently situated relative to the majority of the island's population centers. They came to Foundation attention in 2000-something during the Blank Mass Genomic Decoding Project. Foundation agents were dispatched to the Blank Valley to investigate anomalous data, and the Blank study results were first doctored, then sealed. As of 2000-something, there had not been a male birth in Blank in over 400 years. The residents of Blank instead made use of 1's unique properties. Immersion of a sexually mature female mammal in 1's waters induces Thelytochus reproduction, that is to say, fusion of 2 unfertilized mature ova or polar bodies present in pre-ovulatory follicles to produce a diploid zygote genetically identical to its lone parent. The chemical and biological properties of 1 result in rapid early development of the zygote, usually at a rate of 2 to 4 times faster than normal for the species. Okay, so... that sounds like it causes cloning. Agent Blank's accidental immersion in 1 revealed that 1's properties are not sex-linked and will in fact induce fusion of any mature gametes in the body and subsequent rapid zygotic development, regardless of cytoplasmic composition of the cells in question. In humans, mature ova are mostly produced 1 at a time, but mature male gametes, sperm cells, number in the millions at any given time. As Agent Blanks initially discounted the inflammation as being due to 1's elevated temperatures, no medical measures were taken. By the time his situation was recognized, tissue damage had data expunged. Agent Blank's autopsy was conducted under the BSL-3 protocols in Sector 7 Medical Lab with the extracted data expunged. The results are available to Level 4 security clearance personnel as document CH-2462. Which isn't here. Further discussion with Blank residents after Agent Blank's death led to the discovery of 2 6 kilometers away. Considerably different in chemical composition and inhabited by several previously unknown thermophilic microbial species, 2 was cited as a sort of counter-agent to 1. Immersion in 2 is generally easier as its temperatures are on average 5 to 10 degrees lower Celsius, lower than those of 1. Within 5 minutes of immersion, all cellular development and division of blastocystic cells, the outer layer of a developing zygote that has not yet implanted, ceases and the cells begin to disintegrate, resulting in the death and expulsion of the unimplanted embryo. Examination of animal corpses in the vicinity of 2 indicates that the process applies to more fully developed pregnancies as well, causing the death and destruction of placental tissue, followed by immediate expulsion of all remaining products of conception. Testing performed with mice indicates that immersion effects of both 1 and 2 are still present up to 24 hours after the water has been removed from the original source. Experiments with mixed water result in no discernible effect either way at relatively even concentrations. Testing continues on mixtures of 80% or greater from primary source. Oral consumption of water from either SCP produces results similar to immersion. So, for some reason, there are no men born to this place for how many hundred? Over 400 years, there have been no men in this village. Instead, they use SCP-1 to clone the women, it sounds like, or at the very least, virgin births. And, That's not just limited to women, because there have been no men in that place for 400 years for some reason, but what happens with men is it sounds like it makes their sperm multiply forever until they die from rupture. Whereas it sounds like what 2 does is it does the opposite of that, and it'll just it'll sterilize you, as well as kill pregnancies. And that's just called hot springs, and it's Euclid. Because it's not hurting anybody as long as you stay away from it, but they don't really know why it does that. So, that brings us to delicious chocolates. I'm expecting one of these to be Keter any minute now. SCP-643 is to be contained in a cold storage cell located at Site-77's Safe SCP Wing. Secured Facility Dossier Site-77. The ambient temperature of the room that SCP-643 is contained in must never exceed 10 degrees Celsius. Any circumstance resulting in the temperature rising above this threshold is to be treated as a potential containment breach. And here's a picture of it, temporarily moved from cold storage. The temperature in the room is 7 degrees Celsius. But personnel handling 643 or performing testing in its liquid state are required to wear a hazmat suit equipped with a self-contained breathing apparatus. SCP-643 is a collection of 79 chocolate candies. Individual instances of it do not appear to have noticeable aesthetic differences from normal chocolates, and on average weigh between 100 to 160 grams. Instances of 643 have a much lower melting point than ordinary chocolates, and have been observed to melt at temperatures as low as 15 degrees Celsius. If any portion of 643 moves into a liquid state, its anomalous properties will manifest. While it is in a liquid state, 643 will become highly mobile and will move to the nearest edible substance. When a suitable substance is found, it will cover as much of its mass as possible. Any substance that is covered in 643 will begin to exude a strong, pleasant aroma. Organisms that consume 643 become instances of 643-1. Instances of 1 will possess the same desirability as any edible substance coated in 643. However, note that instances of 1 are not covered in 643, which is digested normally. Any organism that views an instance of 1 will attempt to consume it, regardless of any previous relation. Organisms who consume portions of a 1 instance will describe the experience as highly pleasurable. 643 was recovered from a freezer located inside a bakery in Jacksonville, Florida, where police had arrested 3 employees for cannibalizing their co-workers and several of the bakery's patrons. Agents embedded in the local police department noted that 643 had caused the incident and recovered 79 instances of 643 from the bakery. Witnesses were administered Class C amnestics, and 643 was classified as safe on blank blank 1978. Interview, Disposable 4312, interviewer Dr. B someone. They had attempted to consume Disposable 1122 while the latter was under 643's effect. And why did you feel compelled to attack her? I couldn't help myself, man. She smelled so good, it reminded me of stuff my mom used to make. You didn't think it was wrong to eat another human? I would've, but it felt different. Like, it was okay to eat just a little because it smelled so good, I just wanted a taste. If you just wanted a taste, why did you continue eating 1122 after she expired? Well, when I had the taste, it was so good, like all the best stuff. I just wanted more, and more, and more, and more, and they continued this phrase for approximately blank minutes. Christmas dinner. I have absolutely no inclination to read this tale. At all, because after that one SCP that was nothing but like 15 minutes of cannibalism, I'm not going there. I'm not. It's time for Mr. Hot now. It's Euclid, and it's Dr. Wondertainment, so I've got to read it like that. SCP-644 is to be held within a standard humanoid containment chamber within a hall blank of Site Blank. All staff for D class in Site Blank known to have children are to be briefed of 644's anomalous effects. Staff with children may opt out of testing with SCP-644 at any time. 644 is a male humanoid of Italian descent. Visually, he appears to be approximately 30 years old. The words Mr. Hot from Little Misters by Dr. Wondertainment are tattooed on his left inner wrist. 644 is able to accurately determine whether or not a person has children. Both biological and adopted children may be sensed by this effect. He is aware of this fact for any person it knows of, even if just by appearance or name. 644 claims to be able to predict the material wishes of any child as well as the popularity of any product intended for children. He claims that this effect does not function for the wishes of adults, but has given predictions for at least one person over the age of 18, whom 644 described as a real trooper with no further comment. 644 is able to produce a business card from the pocket of any clothing worn by it. On the front, the card is printed, Mr. Hot, Marketing Consultant, Dr. Wondertainment Inc. LLC, 1515 Mulberry Lane, Chicago, South Africa. On the back of the card is small print. It's a document similar to document 909A. Let's see that document. Oh, it's just this document here. Okay. 644 was originally found by local police in Racine, Wisconsin, where it was found sleeping in the entryway to a local elementary school, having broken a window to enter. It claimed to have done this to escape winter weather conditions. An automatic Foundation web crawler picked up mention of 644's tattoo in the files of the local police department, and it was acquired shortly after. Racine, Wisconsin was later found to contain several anomalous objects created by Dr. Wondertainment in the possession of several local children. Interview was conducted following initial containment before 644's anomalous properties had been ascertained. 644 is led into the interview room by security personnel outfitted with full fire retardant gear, rated against temperatures of up to 800 degrees Celsius, and outfitted with Kevlar and foam padding in the case of explosive detonation. Personnel are also armed with high-capacity fire extinguishers. What's up with these guys? Please state your name for our records. I'm Mr. Hot, marketing consultant for Dr. Wondertainment Incorporated LLC. Holds out wrist pointing to the tattoo. Security personnel prepared to extinguish any potential fires. The tattoo, see? That was my idea. Because I keep my finger on the pulse of the market, eh? You say you had saying where your tattoo went? Yeah, me and the doctor, we were pretty close. I think I went to college with him. Where was that? Oh, I don't know. Does anyone really remember that stuff? So how are you? I'm doing fine. Can you tell me about your relationship with Wondertainment? Fine. I mean, I'm sure you're missing the kids, right? They're with your husband. Oh, I guess that's a lady. What do you know about my children? I know that they miss you. They don't even know what you do. This certainly isn't a university, right? Unless they've got some relaxed testing protocols. It's been, what, 2 weeks since you saw them? Go on. See, what I'm thinking is, you need to let them know they're loved. I mean, Jason, last semester you got an A- in math, and that just went unrewarded? That's cold, Doctor. You're right. What should I do? I think you give me the word, and I'll put some word in higher up. No guarantees, but I'll see what I can do. What exactly can you do? Well, I can talk to my friend upstairs. I call him Mr. Distributor, but he's not really. It's just a nickname. His name is Steven. But I talk to him, and if we can find your kids are up to snuff, so to speak, I could give them some stuff to play with. Could even wrap it up, put From Mommy on there. I'd have to know more. Need to know your toys are safe, of course. Yeah, how about we talk about this a little later without these eavesdroppers around? Motions to the security personnel. That sounds wise. Alright, you know where to find me. Here's my card. Produces a business card. Security personnel confiscate it and place it within a reinforced fireproof container. Interview 2. Interview was conducted 1 day after initial recovery. He's brought into the interview room. A 10cm thick barrier composed of heat-resistant blast-proof glass is erected between Dr. Latimer and the subject chair. Oh, come on! Hello, Mr. Hot. Hi, Doctor. Is this about the name? I'll be honest, I'm not that hot. It's just a precaution. Could you tell me more about what you mentioned yesterday, your toys? Oh, yes indeed. Wondertainment products are fully tested, come with a lifetime guarantee, and are designed to enrich your child's imagination through fun exploration. You mentioned something about children fitting some requirement to receive toys. Could you elaborate? Well, you see, you can't just give this kind of craftsmanship to anybody. You give the average kid a relativistic race car, you just want to leave it on the shelf and go stare at the sun or something. No. We're looking for a higher caliber. Someone so imaginative, someone who will really appreciate the work that goes into this stuff. All around, great kid. What kind of work? What do you do at Wondertainment? I mean, I don't want to go on about myself. This is about your kids, right? I need to know I can trust you as a source. Smart. Guess that's why you're the doctor and I'm just Mr. They call me a marketing consultant, but really, I'm involved at every step of the process. How did you become so valued by the organization? Lots of hard work, I assure you, but at first, maybe luck. See, I was just a young guy, maybe 30 or so, but I get approached by this older guy, yeah, Wondertainment, who offers me a chance to really get involved in something special, you know? Didn't you say you knew Wondertainment in college? Yeah, but anyways, I started working with him. He wants someone who's got a really good market sense, you know? He says, Hot, I'm full of so many ideas, but what to choose? I don't have forever. That's why I need you to sharpen my knife, give it some focus. I got just the thing to let you do that. So I go under, and when I come back, it's like, zap, I just know what ideas are going to be hot, all the time. And I work with him, and we're going like gangbusters, spreading like mad. Me and him, and he says to me, My mind isn't what it used to be, Hot. Let's hone your creative mind. We do it again and suddenly I'm a powerhouse. I'll come to him like, Doc, I've got an idea. How about instead of playing with your food, you can have an intelligent conversation with your food? And I'd say that to him, and he'd say to me, Hot, you have quite the melon on your shoulders. And I'd say, wow, thanks, boss. And then he'd put a miniature melon on my shoulder, and we both laugh. It's a little joke, see? Well, it was. Until it started making Headless feel self-conscious. But we continued on like that for, well, it was years. I held every endeavor. One year, I thought, you know what kids love? Taking baths, or having imaginary friends, or laughing at jokes, or, well, we had some weird years. And in my twilight years, I started some pet projects. One of the projects literally became a pet, actually. Like, the concept of it was animate. Got torched when it started biting fingers, but boss, he said to me he had a cool idea. And he told me about it, and I was just in love. So he gave me this tattoo, and told me my desk job days were complete. Actually, that I was complete. And that I need to head out and start spreading the love. So many underprivileged kids. Did you know 1 in 5 children live beneath the poverty line? They could use some entertainment, am I right? That was all about 7 years ago? And that's when you became Mr. Hot? I was always Mr. Hot, ma'am. Now, are you interested in my product, or what? What kind of toy did you have in mind? I was thinking about Dr. Wondertainment's Carpal Critters trademark. It's a virtual pet, right? But it's not in a computer, it lives inside your forearm. Some local anesthesia, howls the whole thing out, and then it's your friend. It can read your bedtime stories, do your math homework, whole rigmarole, and it's very understanding. You can yell at it, vent at it, tell it to get lost, and it'll forgive you. And be there to give your Olna a big hug when you make up. What do you say? I'll think about it. Olna? What is that? Look at her. The thinner and longer of the two bones in the human forearm on the side opposite to the thumb. Okay, and that brings us to the Mouth of Truth. Which is... It used to be safe, but now it's Euclid. Is it an actual mouth? SCP-645 is to be kept in a padded crate 2 by 2 meters by 1 meter. Personnel with a 10-meter radius within a 10-meter radius of 645 are to refrain from all statements which may be considered untruthful or deceitful. It is to be cleaned after each activation. SCP-645 is a large disc of Pavanazero marble with a humanoid face carved into it, similar to the famous Bocca della Verita carving in the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin in Rome, Italy. So that's in the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin in Rome. Might as well see what that is. I'm uncultured swine, I don't know these things. That looks creepy. Cool. As with the Bocca carving, the mouth and eyes are empty holes. Unlike with the Bocca carving, however, subjects who place their hands inside the mouth describe it as warm and moist. 645 embodies, and has been hypothesized by Foundation folklorists to be the origin of the lie detection properties attributed to the Bocca carving since medieval times. Any subject who tells a lie, see Incident Report 645 and 41, while their hand is within the carving's mouth will activate the carving, which will then bite off the subject's hand at the wrist and swallow it. High-speed cameras have revealed that this process, which lasts less than 0.3 seconds, involves the manifestation of lips, gingiva, and disproportionately large incisor teeth. The lips cauterize the entry via an unknown mechanism, after which the lips, gingiva, and teeth demanifest. The force exercised by the teeth has not been accurately measured, but is sufficient to sever a steel rod in the hand held in the hand being bitten off. Probes of 645's mouth in his inert state have revealed no esophagus. As such, the ultimate fate of the severed hands is unknown. RFID tags implanted in the hands of disposable personnel have been unlocatable, and sonograms of 645 indicate that it is solid Pavanazzo marble with no inclusions. Recovery. 645 was discovered during routine archaeological excavations in Blank, Italy in 19-something. The slab of marble bearing the carving was not attached to any building and had been bricked over. Archaeologist Blankety Blank expressed the opinion that it seemed to have been deliberately buried. 48 hours after being discovered, 645 mutilated a graduate student who had been participating in the excavation. Foundation agents in the Italian Ministry of Redacted intercepted the injury reports and retrieved the objects. Incident Report 645 and 41. On Blankety Blank Blank, disposable 45951 was enlisted for experiments to study both the criteria by which 645 assesses statements as lies and the mechanism by which it severs hands. Unexpectedly, 45951 was able to deduce 645's anomalous properties prior to testing due to cultural knowledge of the properties folklorically attributed to the Bocca carving. Consequently, D45-951 disobeyed instructions as to how he should interact with 645, which ultimately revealed further anomalous properties. Okay, so, transcript of audio log. Dr. Rensburg, insert your left hand into the carving's mouth. Good. Now say the phrase, the sky is bright green. Silence. 45-951. The sky is green is what these guys told me to say. What was that? Why didn't it activate? Let's try another one. Say this, I have 6 fingers. These guys want me to say I have 6 fingers, but I really don't. I definitely heard him that time. What do you think you're doing? You're interfering with the experiment. There was a movie! What? In the movie, let's see. Subsequently identified as Roman Holiday, 1953, Paramount Pictures, starring Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck. In the movie, there was a statue thing that looked like this one, and they said if you put your hand in it and lie, it bites your hand off. That's ridiculous. Are you going to comply with the instruction, or do we have to get the guard involved? No, wait, let's hear him out. Surely intent matters? Do you want me to... You know, that's actually a very good... At this point, D45-951 removes his hand from 645's mouth. Hey, keep your hand in... Guard, hold his arm! Keep his hand in the mouth! Forcibly the hand is forcibly reinserted into 645's mouth. Let's see, where were we? Oh yes, what was this movie about? Plot synopsis omitted. Well, we'll have someone look that up. Thank you for the information, but honestly, you know the difference between movies and real life, don't you? Do you really think the carving will bite your hand off just because some guy in the movie told a story about it? You even said the guy in the movie was lying about it, right? I don't know. Look, I wouldn't have believed, I mean, I don't think I would have believed it before I came here and saw all the weird shit you guys have got here. All the monsters and shit, but now that I've seen it all, it made me think about maybe, I mean, that's how I'm explaining it right now. It didn't all go through my head word for word right then, but you know, people, I mean, a lot of people, maybe not everybody in the world, I don't know, a lot of people are like that. What's the question I lost? I kind of lost track, only kind of, I mean, we're still talking about the statue, right? Yes. Do you think just because of the movie the statue will... Oh, right. Well, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that maybe it will because of a bunch of stuff. Like, part of it is that that movie that I saw part on TV at least one time. I thought it was just a little... I mean, looking back at what I was thinking back then, I guess I didn't really believe it, because it was just something in a... I thought it was just something in a movie, and stuff in movies that... I mean, a lot of stuff in movies isn't really real, not like real life, or at least that's what I always thought, except not always, like, all the time. Oh god, please don't bite my hand off. Interesting. Let's see what we have on the list. Ah yes, D45-951, what's your name? That's kind of I mean, the question isn't... I guess the question isn't complicated, but the answer is kind of complicated. Like, the name that everybody calls me, well, not everybody, like, not everybody in the world, but, you know, people in my life, a lot of the people in my life, they called me Redacted, but when I was born, my name was, I mean, like, a little while after I was born, my parents said my name was Redacted, so that could be my name too, sort of, and, you guys call me D45-951, or that's what you've been calling me. Maybe you'll change your minds later, I don't know, it's up to you, I guess? Fascinating. How about D45-951, say 2,809 is a prime number. Are you fucking serious? Guard. No, look, I don't know what that... I mean, I know those words by themselves, but the whole thing doesn't... I mean, obviously it's some sort of... Well, obvious maybe isn't the right word, but I guess it's some kind of math thing? Like, I remember hearing about prime numbers on the... I kind of remember hearing about them, and I kind of think it was on the news, but not like 100% sure. Oh, jeez. And I was never... I mean, well, when I was in school, I didn't do that good in math when I was in school. A lot of the time, except when I cheated, except maybe that's not the same as me doing good in math, and I guess I did okay back when I was really little and it was super simple. Impressive. How about... Yes, that's a good one. D45-951, do you ever lie? I mean, everybody in the past, I said stuff that maybe wasn't okay, no, maybe the stuff wasn't true, but I'm not gonna, I mean, I don't think right now, with my hand stuck in this thing's mouth, I'm trying real hard not to say anything that's not super absolute true. Wow, you're really scared, aren't you? Oh, fuck yes. Just because of the movie? Look, I went over that already. It's because of the movie that I know, that I think I know what it is, and seeing all seeing the monsters you got here. I don't know if I saw all of them. Seeing the monsters is what tells me that maybe it's for real. Plus, I mean, why would you be doing this stuff with me sticking my hand in here, then telling me to say shit if you weren't expecting it to bite my hand off, right? Why else would you have this guy holding my arm so I probably can't pull my hand out? He has a point. Oh, don't go feel sorry for him. 45951, do you observe this? What? This! The way we're treating you! Being D-class personnel, do you deserve it? You don't have to yell at me. Did you commit the crimes you were convicted of committing? Yes or no? Look, the fucking cop was self-defense, okay? Her or me, right? And the others? Were they all self-defense too? Sir? Well, I mean, they were witnesses, and I mean, they could've... I thought they could've... look, it was... no. You know what? No. They weren't... They fucking weren't self-defense. I didn't think I had to kill him. I didn't think I had no fucking choice. I killed him because I wanted to. Because I wanted them to be dead. Because I like killing. Because I like the way it makes me feel. Because it means I have power. That honest enough for you, you big stone fuck? At this point, 645 forcibly ejected 45951's hand from its mouth. High-speed cameras show that its lips manifested and then contorted, apparently spitting the hand out. The lips had completely demanifested within 0.2 seconds. What the fuck? Did you take your hand out? Put your hand back in! Guard, put his hand back in! No, I can't! It won't go in! It's not accepting his hand, sir. It's blocking him. What? Subsequent examination revealed that although Dr. Rensburg, Dr. Long, and Guard Dickinson were each able to insert a hand into 645's mouth, 45951 was not. Experiment was aborted. Get him out of here. We'll have to requisite another D-class. Preferably one who doesn't watch romantic comedies. They're escorted out of the testing chamber. Well, at least we got some results. I wonder what specifically triggered it to reject his hand. Maybe he really was honest enough for it. Creepy little fucker. Hey, that reminds me, how did you know the details about what he did? Seriously, man? I was bluffing. At this point, 645 opened its mouth to a width of approximately 70 centimeters and proposed an elongated frog-like tongue 4 meters across the room at Drs. Rensburg and Long. The tongue coiled around Dr. Rensburg's right wrist and severed his hand, then retracted, colliding with Dr. Long and breaking his left shoulder in the process. The tongue had fully retracted to the mouth, and the mouth had returned to its normal size within 0.7 seconds. Both doctors survived as a result of prompt medical attention. However, Dr. Rensburg's hand was too badly damaged to be reattached. Note: after a thorough review of not only incident N41, but all footage of personnel in proximity to 645, I have come to the conclusion that 645 is most likely sapient. This was not the first time that personnel in proximity to 645 have lied, or otherwise been less than honest. However, in light of D45-951's admittedly impressive performance in avoiding any untruths, and of 645's unprecedented rejection of his hand, I feel that 645's attack on Dr. Rensburg immediately after he admitted to having deceived 45-951 was a conscious act motivated by resentment and antipathy, however you say it. Incident N41 also revealed that the scope of 645's anomalous properties is far greater than we had suspected. In particular, it can no longer be considered to pass the locked box test. I therefore request that its object class be upgraded to Euclid. Site Director R. Hakarian. Approved, 054. Well then! So no Keeters in this episode, but that one was actually pretty interesting. I really like how he did the thing that Pinocchio does halfway through Shrek 2, where he just tells loops so that his nose doesn't grow so that they don't find out where Shrek is. But in any case, this has been Anachi Sasuke. This is episode 138 of Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. If you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. In the next episode, we're going to be covering Birthworm, Hungry Box, The Labyrinth, Matchbox Full of Winter, and Startling Statue. Many of those things sound like they're going to be uncomfortable. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later!